Good afternoon. This is page 18 of Ulysses. Yesterday I read page 19 accidentally. I forgot I didn't do 18. This is the kind of book it is, You can read page 83. If you've read the whole thing, dipping back into this on a random page is really a fun thing to do. It's a revisiting of something that you can never know all of, but something that will always teach you something. This is page 18. I wrote at the top literary criticism. What is it? I think that was my teaching prompt for the day. I taught about literary criticism. What is it? Different ways of looking at literature. There you go. But I stretched it out for 2 hours. Page 18. Um, you couldn't manage it under 3 pints, Kinch, could you? It has waited so long, Stephen said listlessly. It can wait longer. You piqued my curiosity, Haynes said amiably. Is it some paradox? Pooh, Buck Mulligan said. We've grown out of wild and paradoxes. It's quite simple. He proves by algebra that Hamlet's grandson is Shakespeare's grandfather, and that he himself is the ghost of his own father. What? Haynes said, beginning to point at Stephen. He himself? Buck Mulligan slung his towel stole-wise round his neck, and, bending in loose laughter, said to Stephen's ear, O shade of Kinch the elder, Japhet in search of a father. We're always tired in the morning, Stephen said to Haynes. It is rather long to tell. Buck Mulligan, walking forward again, raised his hands. The sacred pied alone can unbind the tongue of Daedalus, he said. I mean to say, Haynes explained to Stephen as they followed, this tower and these cliffs here remind me somehow of Elsinore. That beetles o'er his base into the sea. Isn't it? Buck Mulligan turned suddenly for an instant towards Stephen, but did not speak. In the bright, silent instant, Stephen saw his own image in cheap, dusty mourning between their gay attires. It's a wonderful tale, Haynes said, bringing them to halt again. Eyes, pale as the sea the wind had freshened, paler, firm and prudent, the sea's ruler. He gazed southward over the bay, empty save for the smoke plume of the mailboat, vague on the bright skyline, and his sail tackling by the Muglins. I read a theological interpretation of it somewhere, he said, bemused. The father and the son idea. The son striving to be atoned with the father. Buck Mulligan at once put on a blithe, broadly smiling face. He looked at them, his well-shaped mouth open happily, his eyes, from which he had suddenly withdrawn all shrewd sense, blinking with mad gaiety. He moved a doll's head to and fro, the brims of his Panama hat quivering, and began to chant in a quiet, happy, foolish voice. I'm the queerest young fellow that you ever heard. My mother's a Jew, my father's a bird. With Joseph the joiner I cannot agree. So here's to disciples and Calvary. There's more stuff here about fathers and sons. Now we have math. Buck Mulligan says that Stephen has proven with algebra that Hamlet's grandson is Shakespeare's grandfather, and he himself is the ghost of his own father. The complicated box to unburden. I really like some of these sentences. I really like this one. Eyes pale as the sea, the wind had freshened, paler, firm, and prudent. Then there's also a theological interpretation of Hamlet. or yeah, Hamlet, I guess, and Joseph the Joiner. Also, this word here, Jew or Jewish, is a maybe I think it's the first, maybe not. I don't know, probably not, but it's the first foreshadowing of our hero Leopold Bloom, who is Jewish and who has experienced anti-Semitism and does so in the book. Spoiler alert, but again, this book isn't about plot. So stop trying to make it into a plot. Okay? Okay. Drink water, be safe, be nice to each other.